Pope removes conservative African cardinal who warned Islam would invade the world after clash with Vatican. Robert Sarah was a favorite among conservative in the Catholic Church. Some even hope he would have succeeded Pope Francis as Pontiff. Eventually, he frequently clashes with Pope Francis and resigns in accordance with law. A top Vatican cardinal who has been touted by many to succeed the next pontiff has resigned from his post after clashing with the church. This is what I want to talk about today. If it's your first time on this channel, do comment, share, like, and subscribe. Pope Francis has accepted the resignation from Robert Sarah, an era to many conservatives who often clash with the pontiff on theological matters. The African cardinal, who is from Guinea, held previous Vatican position in the last 20 years. The latest as head of the department that oversees matters of worship and sacrament. It caused controversy in 2019 after claiming Islam would invade the world if the Catholic Church did not intervene on mass migration. Sarah had submitted his resignation in June last year when he turned 75, as church law requires of all bishops. But the Pope often allowed Vatican officials to remain in their posts longer. The Vatican announced on Saturday that he was stepping down. In his latest position, which he held since 2014, Sarah dragged his feet in implementing changes wanted by Francis, such as allowing women to be among those taking part in Holy Thursday service. Trouble in the Vatican House. Conservatives in the church often put Sarah on their wish list to one day succeed Francis as pontiff. But other observers saw that possibility as extremely remote because Sarah was seen as highly diverse and would not have wide support among fellow cardinals. Apart from opening disagreeing with Francis on a number of theological issues, Sarah was involved in an embarrassing episode last year over a book in defense of priestly celibacy that he said he had jointly written with the former Pope Benedict. Just days before its publication, Benedict said he wanted his name removed from the cover because he had made only a minor contribution. Sarah publicly contested Benedict's version, but agreed that in future edition, Benedict would be named as a contributor and not co-author. Who is Cardinal Robert Sarah? Robert Sarah was born in Guinea in 1945 and turned 75 on the 15th of June last year. He was ordained as a priest in the Catholic Church on the 20th of June 1969 and appointed Archbishop of Conakry by John Paul in 1979, age 34. In 2001, he was named Secretary of the Congregation for the evangelization people. He was appointed president of the Pontifical Council in 2010 by Pope Benedict, and in the same year became cardinal with the title of Diaconal of St. John Bosco via Tuscaloonia in Rome. 4 years later, Pope Francis appointed him prefect of the Congregation for Divine Worship and the Discipline of the Sacrament. He also participated in the conclave that Pope Francis elected Pope Francis in 2013. So he also participated in the conclave that elected the Pope. Here are some of Robert's controversial views and comment on migration. Sarah made controversial remarks in 2019 when he said Islam would invade the world if the Catholic Church did not act on mass migration. If it's false exegete to use the word of God to promote migration, God never wanted this rift. Cardinal Robert Soros said, all migrants who arrive in Europe are penniless, without work, without dignity. This is what the church wants, he asks. The church cannot cooperate with this new form of slavery that has become mass migration. If the West continue in this fatal way, there's a great risk that due to a lack of birth, it will disappear, invaded by foreigners, just as Rome has been invaded by barbarians, he added. My country is predominantly Muslim. I think I know what reality I'm talking about. This put him at odds with Pope Francis, who emphasized Westerners need to take in more migrants. On homosexuality and abortion, Sarah declared in 2015 that Western homosexual and abortion ideologies and Islam fanaticism are equivalent to the beast of Nazi and communist idolatry. He said same-sex union were retrogressive for culture and civilization. This is a cardinal stating his opinion. And in his opinion, he has stepped on the toe of those who reign in the Vatican, or let me say in the Roman Catholic Church. A lot of times in our local branch of churches, we tend to rise up as bishops and laity, and we're never thrown out of the church, but there was always a controversial. And when we look here, we are looking at what many have said is the highest hierarchy in churchism. I wouldn't say Christianism, I said churchism. And a top cardinal who resides, or let me say who is from the country of Guinea, has stepped on the Pope toes. And there's a rocking going on in there. And he had to submit his resignation at the age of 75 years old. My viewers and subscribers, I know you hear me coughing, but I'm a COVID patient, but I'm trying to do this. And I pray God that I would get out of this COVID thing. So this is the after effect that you're hearing. And I tell you that the church is on a rampede and a stampede at times, and we ask a lot of questions. Why is it like this, and what's going on inside there, and can them do something better so that the world outside can become normal. But where men are, there is always controversy. Where great men stands, and let me not put it in the wrong way, and have a misunderstanding among themselves, there will always be controversy. It's only God himself who can really change what's going on in all the churches, including the Vatican. Here is a man who thinks because he's from a predominantly Muslim country and he knows the scopes and schism of the country that he's in, he sends out a warning to the Pope, and the Pope decided that that was not right. He went on again and he said not to, in a way of such as allowing women to be among those taking part in Holy Thursday service. That means he's showing a light that the Vatican is a place where women do not have a say. And the Pope, that is the now Francis, is saying that no, women can be involved. There's a lot of times in the local church where women do not get to say anything, and we can understand where it's coming from. And listen to the men in big society who sits on royal thrones and run the thing the way they are. And then we'll understand what it is like for women in society. Then comes down to a point on migration. He said that if the Catholic Church did not act on mass migration, there's a lot of men coming out of the continents and they are heading to the Western world. And many, he said, are coming and they are penniless. They have no means and forms to help to let the country that they're coming to rise up. And he think that should not be. They should stay where they are. The Pope said, no, that cannot be. The Western world needs to take in more migrants. And the story goes on and on. Went on to say that the Western homosexual and abortion ideologists and the Islamic fanaticism are equivalent to the beast of Nazi and the communist ideology. Well, I don't know much about the Nazi, only what we read. We don't know much about the homosexuality unless we know that people want to be homosexual and we are to allow them in some countries, or you will end up behind the bar. So we can only think about the abortion ideologies and ask ourselves if this is the norm. As he said in his stay, he said, I think I know what reality I'm talking about. You and I don't know. So my viewers and subscribers, lend me your views on this. My throat is still scratching me. But I pray that you will also have a good thoughts and a positive thoughts for me. And let us understand what's going on here. If you have your views and you want to share them, don't just look at the video and leave it. Just comment on it, man. Let us reason together. Let us meet at the altar and chat about the thing. And let us get to the knowledge of what's really going on around us. Because you think it don't bother your church, watch out, it'll come. So these are some of the things that is going on, and a lot of people like to hear about the crime rate and the latest killing and the latest thing. But we need to get to a deeper insight of what's really going on and what causing some of the mishap to be translated to some of the local churches and let us reason together about this. This is JCon TV out of Zurich, saying unto each and every one of us, in the system and the period of time that we are living in, there's so much that we do not understand. Let us seek for the truth and nothing but the truth. Let the ancient truth comes back once again in our tongues, so that we can live as humankind, love each other, celebrate when each other is celebrating, and not just thinking of the negative, because COVID, you have to be positive. Once again, peace, my friend. Shalom.